Hey everyone, this is Troy. Thank you very much for attending our webinar today. Today I'll be talking about two different Excel options for you, okay? So one will be about bringing an easier way to bring your data into your existing spreadsheet, or for those of you that currently do not have an estimating spreadsheet, or perhaps you're looking for a new spreadsheet on how we can provide that for you, it's okay? A little bit quicker intro about myself. I saw a lot of very familiar names in there, which is exciting. In the list today, it was a great turnout. I'm Troy Newman. I oversee all of customer service and training, so that kind of rolls up to I am the Director of Customer Success. A little bit about me. I've been here at Stack for a long, long time. You guys have probably seen me in some of the videos or the chats, and I know just from looking at the list, I've had lots of conversations with you guys as well. A little bit about me personally, during the week, I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, but once that weekend hits, buddy, I am outside exploring, hiking, fishing, camping. Me and the kids are a very outdoors type of family, okay? A little bit about the webinar. I've muted all of you. That's just to kind of keep that background noise down. Any questions, you will have a little questions section here that you can type in. I will take those at the end, though. I want to be respectful of everyone's time and kind of just go through the content to try to keep this right at that 30-minute mark, and then I can answer any of those questions there at the end, okay? So the two things that we're going to cover today, both are Excel-based, both are completely free, so they are included with your Stack subscription. The first one is our Report Sync add-in. So this is kind of, as it says, if you already have an estimating spreadsheet. The second one that we're going to look at today is our new project cost calculator. You may have seen an older version. This is on our newest version, which I think you'll be very, very impressed with, okay? What we'll learn today for the Report Sync is how to install that to Excel, how to access your projects within Excel, which is really, really cool, and then how you can actually sync that data back and forth. For the project cost calculator, how to import that CSV file into our new worksheet, how you can add things like your pricing, your waste, your markup, your profit, your overhead, and how to actually get that to a completed quote with your logo. Okay, well, let's hop out of the PowerPoint world, and I do want to hop into Stack really quickly just as a reference to show you that the project that I'll be pulling the data from today. So went in this little project and did some walls, so some drywall, some paint, some primer, and some labor. And then today I'll be working with the Takeoff quantity report. That's for our plus people, for our measurements. And then for our pro subscribers, I'll be working with an item cost by type report for our material and our labor, okay? Hop back in the Stack, and real quickly, I'm gonna kind of chime in on the customer service side of myself here. If you do have any questions, after this webinar, you're trying to install these, any questions at all, if you hover over the little help desk here, it's gonna show our 1-800 number. Feel free to call anytime. We'll be happy, my staff or myself will be happy to walk you through any of the steps covered today. Or you can click onto the help icon. That will take you to our online help center. I'll place a copy of this webinar down here in integrations. But there's tons of content in here, guys. So we got the videos, we got how-to screenshots, and this is all keyword searchable. So you can just kind of type in, and it'll help you find what you're looking for. And then, as always, if you have any questions, click on this little chat icon in the bottom right-hand corner, and go to, if you're at this screen, click on New Conversation. You can type in your question right there, and then anyone of my staff or myself can respond, and that way you can communicate with us back and forth while you're using the Stack software. It is a great and a very quick way to get a hold of us here at Stack, okay? So we should probably start with, how do I get either one of these Excel projects, okay? We're going to go to our homepage, www.stackct.com. Again, this is where you can sign in from, or you can go to go.stackct.com. It's a little quicker route to get you in. But to get to the Excel products, we're going to go over here to Resources, to Estimating with Excel. Okay, again, we kind of have these different branches here. For people that already have the estimating spreadsheet, we're going to go with the Report Sync option. There's a little Install Now button to kind of help you walk you through, but I'm going to show you on this webinar, and it really is quick and painless to install. And again, on the other side of the little fork here, someone that's looking for a new estimating spreadsheet, or perhaps does not have an estimating spreadsheet, we'll go with the Project Cost Calculator option. Both of these work with Plus or Pro, so no worries there. And again, both are free to use. They're part of your paid subscription with our software, okay? To get the Project Cost Calculator, we're just going to click on the download now, and that's an immediate download. So most likely that will go to your downloads folder unless you have it specified on your computer to go to your desktop or to a different folder. So if not, check your downloads folder. And what I would really recommend is pulling that from your downloads folder and then placing it on your desktop or in a My Documents folder, just so that you have a quick reference or quick access to it, because you will use this over and over again for all your future projects, okay? But let's start with the Excel report sync. So in this case, I'm going to open up my Excel spreadsheet. So again, what you're seeing here, this is just for display purposes for today's webinar. This part is not included. You would be, right now, you'd be looking at your own Excel spreadsheet that you're currently using, okay? To install the add-in, we're going to go up here to Insert. Oops. Now, so the Report Sync add-in works with the Windows version of Excel 2016, the Mac version of Excel 2016, or the Office 365 Home Online version of Excel, okay? To install, it's really similar on all three of those platforms. We're going to go to Insert. We're going to go to the Microsoft Store. We'll have a little search bar. It's going to appear in this upper top. We're just going to type in the word stack and search, and you'll find us right there at the top. We're going to click on that little add button, and it is really that easy, okay? So it's really cool. So it's going to add this little stack icon into your Excel spreadsheet. So to use this, you don't have to be logged in the Stack. You don't have to have a browser open, nothing like that. It's very, very cool. We're just going to click on the little Report Sync icon. We're going to say, hey, getting started. Oh, it already has me logged in. So if you're not logged in, it'll click on getting started, then prompt you to log in with your Stack email address and password, and then we'll take you directly to this point. So you will see all your Stack projects forever and ever. You can just keep going, show more results, Everything that you've ever done in Stack will be inside of this window. And then to access that project data, this is the one I just showed at the beginning. We're going to click on Training, and then these are the available reports. So on the plus side, we've got our summary report, and then we have two different for the Pro side of the software, okay? Let's start with the plus. Click on my report. Here is all my Stack data, okay? So this looks just like the report that we were looking at. So the power here is that you can control where you want to place your data in your spreadsheet. So you can send over a single cell, total control. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to hold down with my mouse and then just pull my mouse and select what data I want to pull over, okay? So I'll go over here and say, you know what, I've got material quantity unit. Let's put that first column over here. So I'm going to click on that one cell over in Excel, so that we're telling it that is where we want to start. I'm going to drag my mouse across, hit my little plus sign, and it's going to send that data over, okay? Again, I could send a single cell if I wanted. I could send a column, I could send a row, pretty much any combination you can think of. So let's go ahead and send the rest of it over. Just going to hold down here, drag my mouse while I'm holding the mouse button down, and just send that over. So again, we're on the plus side, so we're dealing with measurements, square footages, linear footages, counts, cubic yards, that kind of thing. So I can go to my drywall, my paint, anything here, and I can put my per square foot unit price in. So I can say this is $1.25, my paint is $1.35, my primer is $1.15 per square foot, and then I can put a per square foot labor rate. What this is going to do is allow all your existing formulas within Excel will now pick up on that and start to price out that job for you. So you can very, very quickly price out a job on a per square foot or per linear foot using this in the Plus version. Very, very fast, okay? Another thing that is really, really cool here, so if we look at my drywall square footage, I'm at 7711.62. Let me hop back into Stack for a moment. So here we are, here's my 7712. If I look at my report, it's breaking it out 2 decimal points here, so that's where it's getting that 7711.62. But say that we moved all our data over, we were done, and we have to go back and make a change to the actual takeoff. So say I'm going to add some more drywall. Click on my little green arrow to activate that. Grab my rectangle tool and add these 2 rooms in. Okay. And my takeoff, it's going to update my numbers. So now we can see we're at 9174 for the drywall. We can go back into Excel, and I have this little sync button right here. So any changes that you make on the actual takeoff, you can come back, hit this little sync button, and now that updates automatically, which is really, really cool. So you don't no longer have to kind of fumble through your spreadsheet if it's really long and be like, what cells changed, what cells didn't change. Stack is going to take care of all of that for you, which is very, very cool, okay? This was the Plus side. Let's hop into the Pro side. So let me just delete that out. Hit my little back arrow. That will take me back into my different reports to choose from. Back arrow again will take me to my project list, okay? Hop back into training and we'll do the item cost by type. Again, so you have complete control of where you want to send over. So again, I want to kind of start with my material and I want to send this information. I'll hit my plus. That's going to kick it over for me. I can do my wall labor here and send that over there. Since we're dealing with the Pro side of the software, we're dealing with actual materials, right? So the software is saying that, we need just over 286 sheets of drywall, and there is my sheet price, and then it's going to tabulate that out, okay? And again, we can override. So if we're looking at this particular project, but we need to charge a little bit more, all I have to do, run that up to $19, and your existing Excel formulas are still going to kick in. So a great way just to move your data. Again, it can be cell by cell, it can be columns, it can be rows. Any variation gives you complete control, moving your data from Stack into your existing spreadsheet without that, fear of data entry. I'm a horrible typist. If you've seen any of my videos, I would have data entries all day long, trying to put in my unit pricing. Just a great way to control where you want to put your data, okay? So that is our report, our Stack report sync. Let's move over to the project cost calculator. So again, here's my report. What we would want to do is export. So just like you normally would, you're going to go into your report section and you're going to export your particular report. So mine will be the takeoff quantity report for the Plus side, or my item cost by type for the Pro side. So you're just going to export those just as normal. They'll probably go to your downloads folder again, unless you've set that up somewhere else to go. And let's hop into the project cost calculator. So double click, open that guy right up. So not very pretty to look at in the beginning, but boy, is it going to look good in just a minute. Let me kind of walk you through. Let me make that a little bit bigger as well. So at the bottom, we have our actual cost calculator. Okay, now we'll import a CSV, which will populate this. We do have instructions. our info tab, and then this is a finalized quote that you would send to your customer. But in this case, let's actually start at the info tab. This is where you can enter in your company specific information. So you can't start typing like right there. You'll get this little prompt. You have to do it with these little buttons below. So add info, and then you can input your name, your company, address. You can put your terms and conditions down here. Since I'm not an actual contractor, I put buyer beware. Good point there. You can add your logo here. Again, you're just going to find your logo on your computer and upload that. And you can also change a little bit of the color scheme. So I can go here, I can set a custom color, and choose whatever color, and I'll show you where that's applicable. But what's really cool, you set this up one time, and then all this information is stored when you reuse this template over and over again. So let me kind of show you this in action. We'll go over to the calculator. We're going to import a CSV. So remember, we were in Stack. We exported our report, probably went to our downloads folder, and now we're going to import that CSV. Do we want to import a new one? Yes, we sure do. Click yes. It's going to turn into a file explorer, and then I can go find that. Here's my takeoff quantity report. And now it's going to populate that in. Okay, so lots of really cool things that we can do here. So project notes, anything that you want to enter up at the top. If you want to add more rows, if you have some lengthy notes, you can just continue to add. Everything in these gray fields are locked, okay? Everything that is in these bluish color there is editable. So again, here's my square foot. I've got my 4x8 drywall, and I can enter in my unit cost, or I can override it. It's just simply just like that. If you want to assign a waste factor, so I want to assign, a 10% or a 15% waste factor to my drywall, just type it in just like so, and it'll carry over. And I can also add markup. So got my drywall, I've added my waste factor, and I also want to mark it up 20%. There we go. It's going to run that total out for you, okay? I could add markup or waste to any of these other items. I can add tax if I want to. I can add the 7% tax. And I can also add miscellaneous items here. So say that, we're doing paint and we need some scaffolding, which I don't think I could spell scaffolding. Yeah, that's definitely not right. We can say that is equipment. Our quantity we're going to need one of those. Our unit measure will be days because we're going to need one of those, but we're going to need it for 2 days. The quantity there would be 2, and our unit cost 125. Again, you could do a waste factor on that if you wanted to, but it's going to say, all right, I need that scaffolding for days, and it's going to run that out. Again, I could put tax on that if I wanted to. You can kind of see how we're starting to really price out our project here. Down here under overhead, I can enter in a number. If I want to have 12% overhead, that will adjust these numbers and enter in the profit margin that you want here. I'm going 30%, boom, and we can see what it is. We've got now a finalized price. So we have all of our stack measurements. We've entered unit pricing, waste, markup, tax if you want to, overhead and profit, and it's given us a finalized number. Very, very cool. All I'm going to do is, okay. So we're going to send an update quote, and this is why, because this is really cool. This is a worksheet for yourself, so you can kind of tweak your numbers. Not exactly what you want to send to your customer, because you don't want to see that you're doing a 30% markup or profit margin, because they will start negotiating that. Also, right here, so we can see our adjusted quantity based on our waste factor, or just our standard quality if we did not put a waste factor. But we're dealing with decimals here, so if you want nice clean numbers, we do have a little round up button. Rounds it up, makes it nice and clean. So awesome little thing. If you prefer the exact science of this, just uncheck that box and it'll take us back. But everything's here. Update our quote. It's going to think for a minute. It's going to give us a little prompt that it is ready. We can go directly to our quote tab. Here is our logo, everything that I had entered. Here's my terms and conditions. Here's my little buyer beware, just so you can see where that goes. But you'll see you have all your numbers, but it's not showing what you marked up or what your overhead or what your profit. So this is what you would want to show your customer. Also, you'll find that this is an unlocked tab here. So you can do anything. So if you want to make your logo a little bit bigger, you just make your logo a little bit bigger. Put a quote number, customer ID, expires 30 days, 14 days, 3 days, whatever you want. You can type in your customer information, address, that type of thing. You can type in your description of work or your scope of work. Go down here, have your terms and conditions, and at that point you are really good to go. And then also this little border here is where I changed that green color, just so you can see where that is represented. So if you want a color here to kind of match with your logo, that's where I set that custom color in the info tab there. Okay, enter in all this information, and then we're going to want to export this quote. So when you first hit this button, it is going to default to an Excel worksheet. Again, we don't really want to do that because we don't want to send this entire worksheet. So if you do hit save, it's going to prompt you and say, hey, you know what, you should really be saving that as a PDF. So what we would do here is export our quote, drop this down to a PDF, boom, and now we have a PDF that you can print out, hand to your customer, have them sign for their acceptance, sign and date, email, whatever your typical workflow is at this time. Your next project that comes up, you're going to go back to your calculator and then just import a CSV. So that was the plus side. Let me show you quickly the pro side. We're going to import a new CSV. Go back to my desktop and send that over. Okay, again, we're talking about a little different world here because we're talking about actual materials. If you're using an accounting code, this could be a SKU number, part number, anything else that you want to reference the specific type. So if this is a Sherwin-Williams paint, you can add that into the accounting code at the item level. You can add in your material. So my 4x8 drywall, $1.35 seems a little cheap. We'll override that, and it's going to tell me, okay, these are my quantities. I need just over 240 sheets of drywall. Again, I can add a waste factor. One word of caution here though. So if you're attaching an assembly that has a waste factor built in, and you've already added a waste factor on the assembly level, you do not want to add the waste factor here because you'd be doubling your waste factor. So one or the other. This is a quick and easy place to enter it in right now. It's going to give us our adjusted quantity here based on our waste factor. Again, we can round up. So we're dealing with decimals here. Round up to whole numbers, just make that a little cleaner. Yes, I now need 278 sheets of 4x8 drywall. Just like in the other version, we can add in tax. We can add in, a percentage for our overhead, a percentage for our profit margin, update our quote, and that's going to send this new information over to that quote tab. It thinks for a few seconds here. You'll get a nice little pop-up saying you're good to go. Go to the quote, and you are ready. Boom. And now you have something. Again, you can type in your customer information. All your information, your logo, your colors, all that will be static. It'll always be there. And now you have your materials and pricing that you can, again, export and send to your customer. So again, both Excel options. We have our report sync, which is what we started on. We have our project cost calculator, which we're looking at now. And again, you're going to print that, go back here and just import the next CSV at your next project. And that way your logo and all your personal information is already there and will transfer over to the quote tab. So it's a great way to get to final quote using the Stack software. All right, so I'm right at 30 minutes, so I very, very much so appreciate all your time today, and I will cut this out. And thanks for attending. I'll talk to you soon.